Oh, the places he'll go. With Kevin Durant on the verge of his first NBA All-Star Game appearance, we're looking at where Durant is going in the future and where he could take Oklahoma City. From the Opubco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm sports editor Mike Sherman, here with columnists Jenny Carlson and John Rohde, and we're talking about Kevin Durant. The All-Star announcement, guys, is coming up Thursday night on TNT. Here's the question. We're going to throw out a bunch of scenarios to you. You tell me whether he's going to get there or not. First, is he going to be an all-star starter eventually, John?
Well, he may not if he stays in this market, and hopefully he'll stay here his whole career. Maybe in time, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, if he's persistently leading the league in scoring, some outsiders might finally vote for him. But it's all about stuff in the ballot box, Jenny.
Yeah, unfortunately, the starters are named by fans, which has its positives and negatives. But to me, the fans oftentimes are voting for guys based on name recognition. And I think Kevin Durant will eventually get there, but he may not be a starter as early on as he should be, because when you see fans voting in the Tracy McGrady's and the Allen Iversons who've not played very much this year, I mean, that to me says that you're going to have to really become a name to be a starter. Kevin Durant will get there eventually, but it may take longer than expected.
Guys, a couple things. Karl Malone became a name in Salt Lake City. So you got to think that that's possible. Of course, Tim Duncan became a name. Of course, he's first-round draft pick, won NBA championships. It took him to death. But the mailman was starting in the All-Star game long before he was facing Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals. Second of all, I'm not sure how to say this, but isn't it just a matter of getting a Chinese player on your team?
There's a billion votes. I see your point. No, it's possible, and hopefully it will happen. It's all in the timing too. Yeah. Who's in your generation, or who's in your in the similar class that you're in?
Well, and I think if he just keeps throwing up these big numbers, I mean, we can talk about all-around game, and obviously he has to have that for this team to continue to improve. But if he keeps scoring 30, 36, 40, and his scoring average, I mean, it's going to continue to be near the top. People love that. People love the big scoring numbers. And so to me, that'll resonate. I think it is a matter of time, but it just might take a little longer than you might expect.
Okay, next projected stop. How about scoring champ? You see him getting there, Jenny?
Oh, absolutely. He's less than a point away from being the scoring champ right now. LeBron James leads the way, I believe, 29-9, and then Melo's right behind at 29-7, and then Durant's 29-3. I mean, I know that obviously at this juncture, guys it's not gonna be big jumps in scoring unless you have, an 80-something point night, a la Kobe a few years ago. But I think he could be scoring champ in the not too distant future.
Well, with the current cast he's with, you would think so. But what if they bring in a big dog? Does it affect everybody else and their numbers? But in terms of likability and say, oh yeah, sure, let Kevin score all the points, I don't see that ever being a problem with whoever he's playing with.
That's a good point, John. Look at Jeff Green. We wrote a story the other day how his scoring has kind of receded as Durant's has increased. You wonder if that's where it settles, or if Durant's ready to come down a little bit and Green ready to come up. Okay, here's another one. I'll walk a little bit further out on the branch. Most valuable player, John?
Well, I mean, we just talked about scoring, and Greg Popovich had a great quote. He goes, there is nothing tougher than leading the team when you're the top scorer and that team is winning. Like Michael Jordan, the strain on Michael Jordan and Kobe and so forth. And that's what Durant is doing right now, Jenny. Yeah. Not only is he leading the team, he's leading them in scoring, and he's doing it consistently.
Yeah, I think, what he's done is obviously, at a young age, I know that sounds like company line or something because we hear it so often from the Thunder, but it's true. He's still such a young guy. I thought it was interesting in this, I'll get back to the question of MVP, but the other night in the post-game press conference, Scott Brooks said something that really made me sit up and think. He said Kevin Durant could play in the NBA for 20 years. And I had never thought about that, but he started out so young that, this guy could play 20 years and it really wouldn't be too far beyond the realm of possibility. If he plays that long or even approaches playing that long, he's obviously, they're going to win games. They're going to be in the hunt for not only the playoffs, but grander things. We've seen how this team has come together, how they've sort of got those early markings of something really special. MVP is big because you're going to be fighting against LeBron for those sorts of honors all the time. But, again, I think it'll have to be a magical season, but I could see it happening.
I'll resist the temptation to walk all the way out on the end of the branch, and I'll stop with one more step. How about this year? A participant in the NBA playoffs. John?
No, he will get some MVP votes this year. I think you vote for 3. He'll get some third-place votes, maybe some second-place votes. I think it's clearly LeBron right now. He will get some consideration for MVP.
Does he make the playoffs?
That's not totally up to Kevin.
Yeah. Well, I think that they have a great shot. It's going to be really telling to see how they do. I think these next couple weeks, getting to the All-Star break, I think where they are at that point could be a really telling tale. They're playing good ball right now. They've got to get over that hump of the 1-point loss, the 2-point losses. So if they can do that and start to win some of those games, because now they've been in them a couple times, what have they learned? Are they ready to take that next step? If they can and go into the All-Star break in good shape, I could see it. I'll say yes. How about that? I'll say yes. They're going to the playoffs.
I'll take that as an answer. John, Jenny, thanks for that. That's all for this edition of the Press Row, but you can stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK, and every morning in the Oklahoma.